standing right underneath the doorway so that you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's the status of being a pilgrim, is that in between. The pilgrim at the shrine is between 2 worlds, between 2 time periods, between 2 modes of existence. And often this becomes the defining moment in a person's life, so that the person says, for the rest of their life, well, there was the time before I went to Mecca, and then there was afterwards. Or before I went to Jerusalem, or the River Ganges, or Borobudur, or wherever it was, I was one kind of person before that, but ever since then, I've been completely different. Many people come to imagine their life as a journey for which the pilgrimage is an intensified image and pattern. The pilgrimage as an intensified symbol and pattern for life. Life as a journey. We take that almost for granted. So often we talk about, well, where are you going? We ask that to a college student. And we don't just mean, well, I think I'm going to go to New York, and then I think I'm going to go to Istanbul, and then... No, where are you going in your life? What do you want to do with your life? Where are you headed? We think of life as a journey. Sometimes people make a pilgrimage by themselves. It's possible. I made a kind of pilgrimage some years ago in Ireland. One of the things I'm very interested in is the study of early medieval Christianity. And I happened to be there by myself, so I rented a car and drove all around and visited old churches and other places of pilgrimage there. But it wasn't the same to go someplace by yourself. More often, people on pilgrimage go with others, and then at the pilgrimage site, they meet people, other people. That's a very important part of the pilgrimage, is meeting other people who come there for a similar reason, but from different places and different backgrounds. Anthropologists, again, call the social interaction that happens at the pilgrimage site a form of communitas. It's community, but it's a special kind of community in which people meet one another simply as people. Distinctions of class, race, gender, language, and tribe disappear, or they're at least de-emphasized. Often pilgrims wear the same kind of simple clothing while they're at the pilgrimage site, or they take their shoes off and go barefoot, or they kneel down and walk on their knees for the last mile, as they do it in Santiago. Often they will carry some kind of symbolic token, perhaps a badge or a staff or something that will identify them as pilgrims on the way. There's an extraordinary realization that this new experience of unity and harmony among people is the way that life can be, and the way it should be all the time. That's one of the functions of communitas, is to say, I've seen a new reality. I've seen new possibilities, and now when I go home, I want to live into that new reality. It's a very well-known example of that is the African-American civil rights activist Malcolm X. And I bet many of you have heard what he wrote about his experience of being on the Hajj. Do you know Malcolm X? Yes. And you know this. Okay. So I'll just briefly remind us, because it's such a great example of this, where he wrote, there were tens of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world. They were of all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans. But we were all participating in the same ritual, displaying a spirit of unity and brotherhood that my experiences in America had led me to believe never could exist between the white and the non-white. You may be shocked by these words coming from me, but on this pilgrimage, what I have seen and experienced has forced me to rearrange much of my thought patterns previously held. We are truly all the same, brothers and sisters. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. That kind of new experience of, in a way, it's a leveling of the field so that everyone is standing together there at the shrine. But in another way, it's a lifting up. It's an exaltation of all of humanity in finding what we have in common.